Okay, so radio production, research portfolio. How did you find this research portfolio to compare to the last two that you've submitted?
I found this one a bit easier because I looked at more sources than there already were. I used more initiative. I thought through it, and as much as possible, I linked all the research that I'd done. So when it was done for the evaluation, it wasn't as long, but I prefer to elaborate more on my evaluation.
Okay, so there was quite a few points there. So first of all, your research was more focused.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
And do you mean that when you did a piece of research, you was evaluating it? So then that determined where you went next. And at the end of your research, you then sat down and looked at it all collaboratively and then made detailed evaluation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel like you've gained more substantial, more detail, and a better quality of research compared to your previous units?
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
And why do you think that was?
Because I used all the different ideas. I used different resources. I used more than one source.
Okay, good. So to begin with, first of all, you looked into radio idents, and this was a second version that you submitted, and so really well done, because the first time you was a little bit confused about the ident itself, okay? So then after we had a discussion, you've gone back and you've improved it, so well done. Now your definition is good, it's really clear, it's obvious you understand what an ident is, and you've then looked at 3 different radio stations and you've analysed the idents that they use. First of all, try to use, when you're defining something, try to use more than one source. So you've just used one source here to provide yourself with a definition of what an ident is. But remember, if you're trying to find out something new, it's always important to have more than one source, so then you can actually guarantee that what you're saying is correct. Also, there was some great detail in your analysis. I thought there was a good appreciation for the designs and why things have been done the way they have been done. So you kept talking about this meets the needs of the target audience and this suits the target audience and so on. What was missing was an actual classification of who that target audience is. So through your analysis, it was clear that you understood who the target audience were, because when you were saying it's upbeat, for example, or it's a pop tone, and that's reflective of the type of people that would listen to Heart FM, what you didn't do is actually tell me who the target audience specifically were for Heart FM. So in the future, make sure that you always fully classify the audience.
Okay.
You then moved down to here, where we did a focus group of your initial ideas. I think in your evaluation of that, you have a good identification of findings. You are detailing the useful parts of the audience responses and how this may help you, but try to be more specific in terms of what you need to do now. So what I mean by that is here, these answers will help when deciding the final idea, because we know that at least each idea has games, has different idents for games, and involves the audience a lot, which is what our radio show is about, okay? So yes, that has helped classify or cement your initial idea or your idea of having these features in your show. But what should you be saying now? Or what should you be saying at the end of this evaluation?
What I've learned and how it will influence the ideas.
Good, so if you're saying here that you've learned that you should have these in your show, surely that means that now you need to start going to research games, you need to research audience interaction, because that's what you've just been told the audience want. So when at the beginning you said to me that your research was a lot more structured because you are making sure that you are researching things that are going to help you, yes, because you have gone on to research games, you have gone on to research that, but it'd be nice if you could almost have that commentary in your work. Okay? So I've put an example down here, question 6. You said, do you think the games would interest the audience? And you responded, yes, the games would, especially for young-minded people, as it draw them in. The games are good, a key strong factor of our segment. This helps because we know that all our ideas have games, so either way the audience would be interested. Great, okay, so that confirmed your idea. But what I wanted you to then say is we now need to dedicate part of our research into looking into how other radio stations present games, how long they last, what games are featured at our time of the day, that type of thing.
Okay.
That makes sense? Yeah? Okay. in terms of your secondary research, there was a great range of research into law and ethics of radio. So there was a good understanding of what the law means and how this influences your planning and production. You could have gone on in here in a little bit more detail as to say, we will now need to ensure that our script is drafted and so all prepared content has been drafted so it's free of all legal and ethical concerns, and we'll avoid talking about sensitive issues. So could have been a little bit more detail in here about, yes, this is how it's helped because you're not going to put these things in your show, but just be a little bit more detailed.
Yeah.
You then looked at Ofcom, and there was some great detail into your understanding of fairness. So there was a good understanding that not only had you looked at the guidelines, but then more specifically into an area, so well done. You then looked at Raja, and again, I think you need to be a bit more specific about how it's going to affect you. So yes, you understand what they do. Yes, you understand what these things mean. But what does that mean in terms of when you sit down and write your script? What type of things do you not need, should you avoid talking about? Okay? You then looked at Capital and Heart Evening Show here, and I wrote that there was a fantastic analysis. So you really had understood the features and the content of those two shows, probably because you spend your life listening to them, which is why you're laughing at me. So really, really good. But again, be more specific about how it's going to be used to inform your planning. Because I almost feel like I was listening to the show in your analysis. It really is that detailed. But what you're not doing is telling to me that this is going to help me because I know what sort of things from our current idea can be used in the show after listening to this show, and what sort of things not to include in the show. This goes for both radio shows. Can you see how that's really general? Yeah? So you need to be a little bit more specific about what details you can add. Okay? So I put here bullet points, the things you like, and discuss that now you need to do more research into this and how you're going to use it. Okay?
Yeah.
Current affairs, fantastic range of research, range of sources, and you have identified specifically where you're going to use it. Okay? This is all I'm asking for in all the other areas of your research. Okay? You then uploaded the interview with JJ, and at the end you gave some great detail about what it is that he's saying and how you are thinking about using that. Okay, so in parts you are saying, look, this is what I found out, this is what I mean, this is what I need to do next, but it isn't evident in every piece of research. Okay, and if in your overall evaluation, okay, it was evident, it kind of would, I wouldn't be concerned as much with those little individual evaluations at the end of each piece of research, but in your overall evaluation you still aren't specifically saying how it is that you're going to use it specifically. Okay, having said that, your overall evaluation is very, very detailed. Okay, and that's why at the beginning you said I like to talk about my evaluation at the end. I was really pleased to see that you're looking at your role as a researcher, okay, and you're commenting on the things that you've done well and the things that you haven't, because that was missing from last time. And also what we spoke about in the last project was this sort of commentary where you're talking about how, because you've done this, now you're moving on to that, and I thought that was a lot more evident in this research portfolio. Again, your questionnaire analysis, you had great awareness of how your answers will inform your planning, so absolutely fantastic. I think you should be exceptionally pleased with this research portfolio. There's a great range of research, and the analysis, particularly in that evaluation at the end, is the best that you have submitted since you joined the course. Okay, I think this evaluation, this research portfolio, easily is of a high standard. So you are showing me how your research is going to inform your planning. Okay, I'm being heavily critical and in part showing where you could have added more detail, but on the whole, as a research portfolio, you have covered everything from law and ethics, content, script writing, presenter styles. You have thought about everything, okay? What you need to make sure you do now is that from this point on, any other research that you need, you add. Okay, so for example, it was great to see that you'd already looked into content for Pop or Not because that's a game that you're going to be using. So if, since you've submitted this in planning, you and your partner have decided on new content for the show, okay, it would be fantastic to see the research for that content later on in this webpage. Okay, so remember, research never stops. So the other day when you did your voice recording, the first thing you said to me is, I don't sound enthusiastic enough, okay? If you went away and did research into how to make your voice sound very expressive on the radio, okay, and you uploaded a video here and what it is that you discussed, that is showing me that continually your research is ongoing and you're not just thinking research portfolio, tick box. Research is done throughout, okay? Overall, an absolutely fantastic job. Okay, I was really impressed with the level of detail and the work ethic that you put into it. This is a complete research portfolio. You don't need to add anything to it. I was just giving you some advice on areas that we can make sure that you're continuously talking about how it's going to help and inform your planning. Okay? Happy? Can you say happy for the recording? But you're happy. Yeah? Good.